Oh, geez, there's a lot going on. There's not too many, so we could probably take a look at these. So, what you need to know for the month of May is the Ten of Wands. There's a lot of work, a lot of things that you're carrying, a lot of burdens that you're carrying on your back. Six of Wands, it has a lot to do with the pride, probably. That's why you're keeping up with all this. You're just not ready to let it go yet. But the thing is also you found a lot of success through, the work that you put in. And even though it's become, a really big snow globe that's going down a hill full of snow, right? Globe, so snow globe. Snowball. It's like a snowball going down in a snowy mountain. So it looks like, even though you seek success with this, I think there may be more than you could take on, or there's, you know things are piling up on itself. And what was very successful, I think it is showing the success the more it's building, the bigger it's getting. But you may need help now. You may need help with the overflow of this work. Okay? So, yeah. Yeah, I think there's some things that are actually working out in your favor, but it's just like, but the more it grows, the more out of control it gets. It's towards your legacy. It's towards success, and creating it could be having to do with a business. It could have to do with your legacy, what you leave behind. Um, I think it has something to do with a relationship as well. I think there's just a lot of stuff that's tacked onto it, and even though it's something that you're happy about, it's still become there's a lot to deal with when it comes to it. Let's see. Why is this what they need to know for May? What is the reason for focusing on this for the month of May? Right, the reason why you need to focus on this is because I think you're going to be looking to. There's a big, some the big. If I could say the word, gosh, there's some big changes that are coming into your life here in the month of May, rather. There's a lot of changes that are coming in. The Tower does talk about something happening unexpectedly, a shift or a change, and it could indicate that you are the person that initiates that change a lot sometimes. But then at the same time, it doesn't have to, right? It doesn't have to be that you are the initiator of change. It could be that whatever unexpected events come up, you have to lean on yourself to be able to, be to know that you can handle it, right? So the tower does talk about something unexpected happening. It could be that something unexpected happened in the past, or somebody came in and created a lot of changes in your life. But it's all meant to make you a better person. It's all meant to get you closer to yourself, get you closer to your higher self. So I kind of get this feeling here that the changes that you're going through right now has a lot to do with, with either growing a business, starting a family, um, leaving some sort of impact in the regards to a stable aspect. Um, it could be that there's some things that are overwhelmingly like hard to miss. I think there's some things that you're kind of reaching the peak on. I think some things are more work than it's worth, and you want to see more success out of what you put in, rather than just being overloaded with a lot of responsibility. So that's kind of what it looks like here. I think you guys end up changing some things that actually make you happy, that make you feel proud about what you're doing, and no longer going in a direction that doesn't satisfy you, that doesn't make you feel good, that doesn't pump you up with a bunch of energy and fire. So let's see. What is this situation that's causing, or that's bringing up the Ten of Wands? What is this Ten of Wands energy? What is the Ten of Wands energy for Sagittarius? What is the Ten of Wands energy for Sagittarius? What is the Ten of Wands energy for Sagittarius? What is the Ten of Wands energy for Sagittarius? Oh, Ten of Wands is what you love. Is the Ace of Cups. That's the burden is being emotionally open, or knowing what you want. Knowing what you want to feel, starting something down an emotional path, being emotionally vulnerable, starting emotional or spiritual growth of any sort. But the biggest thing that is a burden right now is starting to be emotionally open. If that could be that, it could be. experiencing emotions, like truly fully embracing your emotions, understanding what those emotions are related to in your day-to-day life, or how they affect you in your day-to-day. Could even be, emphasizing, excuse me, empathizing, being more empathetic, being more sympathetic, learning a lot of the emotional aspects of your character, and even to becoming more concrete and certain of what you desire, right? Knowing what's in your heart and going for it, right? And I feel like the biggest thing, the Ten of Wands, is that there's a lot of shit that you went through just to finally start going in the direction that you want to go. But I feel like this is now the time to do it. You don't have to hold yourself back, holding onto all this, weight that's not really getting you anywhere, because you've already completed this. This situation is this is its last leg. So it's all about now going after what you truly want. No longer dealing with situations that don't, no longer dealing with a situation that isn't, becoming more than it's, intended to take on, if that makes sense. Or like, if it's become too much, if it's become a burden now, it's no longer fun, it's no longer enjoyable. It's now ready to step into a different arena. Okay? So, that's awesome. How does this affect your love life specifically? How does this, oh my gosh, if I can say the words right. How does this affect Sagittarius' love life specifically? How does this affect Sagittarius' love life specifically? Too much cards, too many. Come on, guys. One. How does this affect Sagittarius' love life specifically? Oh, the Four of Cups. Why is the Four of Cups coming up? Why is the Four of Cups coming up for Sagittarius in their love lives? Why is the Four of Cups coming up for Sagittarius in their love life? You're not interested until you get your own independence. I think this situation is that, you're focusing a lot on either financial stability, emotional stability at this point. And it's not to say that the relationship isn't of interest, but it's not what you're looking for right now, or you're not looking in that direction regarding love. I think the key is what is your love life. I think the answer of which you're trying to figure out makes you happy, or trying to figure out a way to get there. I feel like that it has to do with your love life somehow. Okay? Moderation, all things balance. I feel like you have to balance your love life before you can start dealing with anything else. Because that's what it looks like here. The reason why the Four of Cups is, it's like you're looking at other things. Your attention is diverged elsewhere. Actually, you know what? I take it back. I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is actually saying that your relationship right now, how it's going, it does talk about your interest or your focus is elsewhere. It's not focusing on the romance. The Ace of Cups is here, but it's right behind you as well when it comes to love. Right? So we just pretty much asked, what is this Ten of Wands here? What is it? It's the Ace of Cups, the beginning of starting something new. It's the beginning of an emotional, something, not an emotional beginning, but it's the start of something. It's the start of emotional healing, emotional growth, spiritual growth. Going down, the figuring out what your desires are, understanding what your heart wants, understanding what your heart is, and that's the biggest burden. But you're looking in all the wrong places when it comes to this, when it comes to love, right? The attention is not necessarily on love. It's looking at everything else. It's looking at all the stuff that you've been through. You're looking at the Ten of Wands as your guide, as your map, when in actuality your heart is your map. Knowing what you want to feel is the way. But there's also Temperance here. It's telling us why the Four of Cups is coming up, because I feel like the reason why the attention isn't towards the relationship right now is because you need to focus more on yourself anyway. You know, any sort of love situation, you're not looking necessarily to a relationship or a new partner. I think there's somebody around you that may help you with it, but I think the situation is that you're focusing so primarily on yourself. You're trying to figure out how to balance your life out, trying to get things stabilized. You want to figure out how to balance your life a lot more, because I think there's a lot of overindulging in one area. Okay, I feel like the situation is calling for temperance to come in. Like, you have to be the, the temperance. Sagittarius is, it will tear. Sagittarius loans the energy to temperance. Okay, which, and you're all about moderation, not overindulging in one area. Just kind of, taking your taking things into moderate, into consideration, and balancing everything out. And I feel like when it comes to love, you're not focusing on that enough. I don't think you guys are focusing on love enough. I think you guys are focusing on your work, on what makes you happy. And that's fine, right? That's a certain kind of emotional examination. But love is one of the things that's needed to help you figure out, or help you, to understand why you may want to go down a certain direction, to help you make the changes that you need to make. Okay, because right now, the reason why the Ten of Wands is coming up because of the Ace of Wands. You're focusing too much on carrying the burdens and having all that weight on you, instead of looking and realizing that you don't have to deal with all that. You can figure out what you want, not by just drowning yourself in responsibility, but or tasks or burdens or whatever, but also by looking at how you feel, looking at what you want to feel. There's other options out there, and I feel like love is one of the things that's being ignored, which is why temperance is coming up. It's time to moderate all of that. So let's see what the overall outcome is showing for you guys for the month of May. What is the overall outcome for the month of May? Ooh, the Lovers. See what I'm saying? The Lovers. How you guys end this month, or how you guys, go about, ending, or not ending the month, but like completing the lesson, has to do with lovers, right? Like recognizing how you feel, accepting your emotions, accepting how you feel, accepting what's yours, acknowledging your feelings. The Lovers does and can indicate a soulmate connection. Not necessarily that someone's coming into your life, but I think you meet somebody that you do feel profound emotions for. But then I also feel like you do discover, because the Lovers doesn't have to be a person. It could be that you find what you love to do. You find what makes you, right? Whether that's career or whatever, right? Or you could adopt a lifestyle that represents you and appreciates you as a person, that returns love to yourself. So I kind of get this feeling that at the end of at the end of this, you're going to figure out what it is that makes you happy. And not through everything that you've gone through, but what you love. And focusing primarily on what you love. Instead of leaving that as the filler. That's the main focus. That's the primary focus of this whole situation, of this whole reading. Is looking at what you love and letting that be your forefront. So let's see what the Messenger of Oracle has to say about your reading here. Too many. Embrace the femininity. Feelings is one of the things that's feminine about, that's feminine, right? Like, embrace those emotions, embrace those feels. Right now, you can't just be doing. You got to be open to emotions and feeling things out, especially knowing what you feel, knowing what you want to feel. Okay, being more affectionate, being more, considerate to your what you desire. Looking at that, in that direction. Okay, being more gentle and compassionate to others and yourself. So embrace the feminine is a really good card for this, and it definitely backs up what I'm saying, which is the focus cannot be the experience that you've gone through. It has to be what you are right now, and who you are right now, and how you want to feel at this moment. Okay. So wow, guys, what a big message. What a really big message. Okay. And you know what, too? Even feminine energy is also creative. Okay. So you may have to start creating a new path in which to go down, because maybe one path is become old, all blocked up and stuffy, and you kind of don't have a lot of room to do anything. You may have to be creative and learn how to divvy up your time, divvy up your space to be able to go in the direction that you want to go.